Hello, hello. The day is finally here. It is the start of a new semester. Today is the start of the 2025 spring semester, and I am genuinely so excited to start. Usually, I honestly feel a little bit nervous for the very first day. I think it's just, even though I've been doing this for 10 years, I think it's just nerves about how it's gonna go, what's gonna happen, especially since for the past 3 years, my school has been updating the computer systems throughout every break. So it feels like for the past 3 years, every time I go back to school, there's a totally new computer that I have to figure out how to use. I mean, I don't want to jinx it. Let's knock on wood. But there's always something that kind of goes wrong. I did have my first nightmare. I always have bad dreams right before the start of the semester. And I dreamed that the school had planned me to teach different classes at the same time, which, sounds like an unfounded fear, but actually that's happened multiple times. But it is Monday, and Monday is the only day where I don't have class in the morning and instead I have class in the afternoon. So I'm kind of excited about that because that means that every single week I get like a calm start to the week. I also have the greatest schedule I think I have ever had at this school, and I am genuinely so excited to start because January and February were just crazy. So much happened, so much was going on, and I'm genuinely looking forward to having a little bit of a routine in basically March. I'm also just really excited about my classes. The schedule is great. I get all new students except for one class. One class is a class I've already had before, and actually I have them first. So basically every single week I get to start off with the class that I know really, really well, and then I just teach the same lesson again for the rest of the week. And also, I don't really want to teach a class more than 6 times, like the same lesson in 1 week. In the past, I have had to teach the same lesson 7 times, 8 times in a week, and that just gets so tiring. But this semester, only 6 times. So like I said, I don't have class this morning, which means I'm going to just take a slow morning. I already hung up some laundry, I had a cup of coffee, and I'm going to do some work on my PhD. I'm getting my PhD in curriculum design. Hi, I'm Megan. I teach English at a university in China. I'm also getting my PhD, and so I need to do a couple of things this morning for my PhD. Speaking of that, let's just head to the computer. Let's look at the to-do list, and then we can get started with our productive morning before class. Okay, so here is today's to-do list. Don't mind the hair, we will fix that later. This morning is all about computer work being productive. I have to add some references for my PhD. I just found out that I need to have 100 references for my chapter 2 of my PhD, and in the past they told me that I needed 100 references for chapters 1, 2, and 3 combined. That wasn't true. So I currently have 86 references, and so I need to work on adding a few more. I also need to get a site permissions letter from my school that I work at because I'm going to be conducting the research kind of at school. So I do need to type up a letter that I can send to my dean and ask her if she would just be willing to sign that letter. Regarding work, I do want to just double check that I have everything I need, make sure my bag is fully packed, ready to go, flip through my lessons one more time, make sure all the lessons are on my USB. I also want to send a message to my students because my school doesn't tell the students which textbook is for which class. So often they'll come to class and they don't have the textbook because they didn't know which textbook belonged to which course. So this is the textbook that we're going to need for the first class today, and then this is the textbook we'll need for the second. I don't have any of these students' contact information because I haven't had them yet. These are the freshmen and I've never taught them before. But with this course, these are the sophomores. I do have a group chat set up. All in all, I don't feel as nervous as I usually do. I don't really feel like this is as big of a deal as in other semesters, because in other semesters we really would take like a hard break. I wouldn't be in contact with the school, I wouldn't be doing anything during the break. And this semester, our break was just a little bit different. I was constantly in contact with the school. They kept asking me to do a couple of extra things, some extra paperwork, Even last week, I was at the school teaching a speech competition class. Not complaining about any of that, by the way. I'm just saying that it doesn't feel like, wow, I'm going back to school. It's been so long since I was on campus. It just feels like we took a couple of days off, even though it was a very, very long break. I'm gonna open up my computer now. I'm gonna send those messages to my students. I'm gonna work on that site approval letter and then work on some references for the next little bit. Then we'll take a break for lunch and I guess then we'll get ready to go. Crazy. She said yes, which is amazing. So I just had to get a signature from my department head to let the school know that I was doing this research. So I just printed it all out and I'm gonna meet with her either this afternoon or tomorrow morning to get her signature on it. Let's whip up lunch really fast, get dressed, get ready to go, make sure my bag is packed, and then we'll be heading to class. Okay, I think we have everything and we are ready to go. I did get a new bag. Oh my goodness, look at how giant this is. It definitely looked smaller on the website when I bought it. I did need a new bag and it is big enough to hold literally anything inside. Let's do a cute little what's in my bag. So I have my folder with all of my important papers and my site approval letter because I'm gonna run by her office either today or tomorrow. I have my application for my contract renewal, which I will need on Thursday when we have our big start of the semester meeting. And then I also have the name lists for all the students. On the first day of class, I like to have the students write down their English name next to their student ID number because we use English names in our classes. I also have a brand new notebook. This is my brain throughout the semester. Anytime students need to ask for leave or I need to write notes about how the lesson went and how I can improve it in the future, I write down notes about students' appearances too so I can learn names faster. I then have both of my textbooks because I'm teaching both classes today. Bottle of water, necessary. My pencil pouch, which has obviously pens. It has a backup dry erase marker because they're always half dead in the classroom. It has all of my highlighters as well because I mark up the attendance sheets using different color codes. So for example, if a student is absent, I highlight it in orange. I haven't made my attendance sheets yet. Once the students write their English names down, then I will make up the attendance sheets and I'll start using those next week. I also have my PowerPoint clicker and then USBs that have all of my teaching materials, PowerPoints on them. This is my go-to pouch. It has things like chapstick, an extra hair tie, ibuprofen, tissues, whatever you might need. And then of course, extra tissues because in China, they don't have toilet paper in the bathrooms at schools. So if you wanna go to the bathroom, gotta bring your own toilet paper. Power bank, always necessary, and a hair clip that is going to be useful as the temperature increases. I think that's everything I need. Actually, just now as I was getting ready, I felt like a twinge in my stomach and I thought, oh, am I nervous? And then I reminded myself what I always tell my students, that the brain can distinguish between nervousness and excitement, but actually your body can't. So it manifests itself the same in your body. So I felt that twinge and I thought, oh, am I nervous? I think I am just excited. This semester, I really do want to focus a little bit more on changing my perspective and really being in the moment and enjoying teaching. I think I've just been on autopilot for such a long time, and going to work has felt just like something I have to do, which I mean, of course is true. We all have to have a job, we have to go to work, and we have to get a paycheck. But this semester, I'm not sure how to do this, but I want to find a little bit more joy in my teaching and in my students. So working on my self-talk this semester because as I was, packing up, getting ready to go, I thought, I really wasn't that productive this morning. I wish I had gotten more done. And I had to stop myself because obviously I know that my focus this morning is not going to be as good as other days because it's the first day of class. I'm feeling all the feelings. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting ready. I'm getting excited. But then I realized I did actually do a lot. I had a relaxing morning after my husband and I stayed up really late last night. He's headed to America for a business trip for quite a while. So last night we went to late night barbecue and we just kind of stayed up late talking, and it was such a soul-filling time. So I slept in a little bit this morning. I did laundry. I cooked myself a healthy lunch, and I actually cooked a double. So tomorrow when I come home from class, I can just heat up the leftovers. I wrote, submitted, and got approval for the site letter. I looked over all of my materials and made sure I was ready to go and I would be prepared for the first day of class. So we're working on self-talk because I really did get a lot of things done that I needed to do. My cat is going crazy. She's definitely got the zoomies right now. Okay, I would play with her, but it's definitely time for me to go. Let's head to class. Okay, class went pretty well. I got to meet the new freshman students. They're actually in the classroom right now having a meeting. So I'm just putting everything away, packing up to go home. I'll recap more when I get home. Hi. Oh my goodness. My throat hurts, my foot hurts, I'm tired, and I didn't even teach a whole day. I have zero stamina, but I think I always feel that way on the very first day of class. I finished the first class, which was my students that like I know very, very well, and I just was so tired. I think I forget that I need to like ration my energy, and so with those students, I was just so excited to see them that I spent all my energy. Also, it was a little bit weird too because I realized I've only ever had those students in the morning, and they're usually like going at 1000% energy level, but this is the first time I've had them in the afternoon and they were like very mellow. So I wonder if I'm going to have to adjust how I teach. They seemed a little bit, not sure what the word is, because we have only ever had listening and speaking classes together, and so now we're doing like a hardcore business class where we are talking about business ideas and business techniques. And I think they were kind of thrown by the fact that we're totally changing the type of class that we're going to have. But they really seemed to get into it, and I think they also started to realize how much they don't know, which was my goal for this lesson. This lesson was all about branding, so I was really pushing them to consider things on a deeper level, to think analytically about branding. And this is just the introduction, right? But you know, why do customers have brand loyalty? What makes you choose one brand over another? And they started to get it, and I also got this feeling that they started to realize how much they don't know, which is really fun and really encouraging, and I'm very excited to work with them as they go along. I am a little bit concerned about their lack of energy though. Maybe that was just the first day thing, you know, back at school. Nobody's in like a normal headspace. The second class though, wow, my goodness. They had like manic energy. There was so much energy, but it was misplaced. It was not going in the direction all the energy should have been going. So it was a lot of like, okay, all right, what's going on? Also, they'd had a foreign teacher last semester, but they didn't have English names, which is something I wasn't quite prepared for, because usually, even in the Chinese teachers' classrooms, we'll use English names. So I was a little bit thrown by that, but everyone now has an English name. I am a little bit worried about their energy, but then I also found out during the break, the students said that they had full classes today. So from 8:30 until the very last hour of the day, which makes sense then, why they were acting all over the place. I mean, for me, when I was in college, that was totally normal for me to pull like full days, no off periods. But it's not really that normal at our school. So I think that is going to be a bit of a problem moving forward. They're just not gonna have a lot of energy being the last class of the day. And I think I'm really gonna have to focus on channeling their energy and focusing them on the right areas. They seem to be really good kids, but whew. And I called it when I walked into that classroom. Never seen that computer before. Totally different setup. And I know that might sound like a small thing, like you just have to turn on the computer, it's not that big of a deal, just like hit the button on the tower. No, every semester I walk into a totally different setup. Sometimes the way to turn the computer is like inside the paneling on one of the walls. Sometimes the switch is over by the door when you first walk into the classroom. Sometimes the switch is on the actual computer tower itself. Sometimes the switch is on the monitor. This time, the switch to turn the computer on was on a tablet inside a drawer inside the computer. So there was that. And there's always one crazy thing that goes wrong as well. And today it was when I handed out the name lists to the students and one of the girls went, "No, none of our names are on this page." And I was like, "Oh, maybe the school like labeled it wrong." I'm like, you're class 1, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're class 1, but these are not our names." So I hand her the list of all the other names. You know, I have class 2, I have class 3, I have class 4, etc. And she's like, "No, these are not our names." So the school sent me a random list of student names that are not actually my students. So I'm gonna have to hunt down their actual names because I do need their real names to plug into the computer to give them their final score. So there's always something that goes on, and it's fine. I've learned to roll with the punches, but it does mean that we're kind of starting things off kind of messy, because usually I like to have all the attendance sheets, everything ready to go, have our group chat set up, but none of that can happen until I have their actual names. So we'll work on that next week. My brain genuinely feels scrambled. Also, I usually have this feeling of like, wow, that was so fun on the first day. That was amazing. That was so fun. It was great to see the students. And then I realize I have to go back tomorrow, and then I'm like, whoa, now that seems excessive. But I don't feel that way this semester, which I'm really so happy for. I really feel like we're starting off this semester on a strong note, even though things went wrong in the classroom, and even though we don't have the right name lists and I didn't know how to turn on the computer and the students have like low energy and the manic energy. I think my perspective is where it needs to be, and I'm really glad for that. I'm really happy about that, because this semester I do really want to be more present, enjoy my teaching, kind of roll with the punches a little bit more, not take things so seriously. So I know not a lot happened today, but I think it was a really good start to this semester. It's also so crazy when you meet a group of students for the first time and they're all strangers to you, but you're like, at the end of this semester, you all will be so near and dear to my heart, and we'll have so many different conversations and so many fun experiences that I'm really looking forward to. One good thing is that they were a little bit quiet, a little bit shy while speaking to me, but overall, they were okay. That's definitely a good sign. Honestly, what I want to do right now is I just want to like take a hot shower and have a cup of tea because it is so cold today. Not the most exciting thing. I think tonight I'm gonna work a little bit more on my lesson plan for next week, because I do have to send in all of my documents by Wednesday. So I have to send in all of my paperwork, including things like lesson plans for the first 2 weeks, information on what my final exam is going to be, syllabi, all of that. And there's one lesson I haven't finished. So I think I'll work on that a little bit tonight. Once my husband gets home, we'll eat some dinner. So I think I'm just gonna warm up a little bit, and then we'll see where the night takes us on this first day back at the semester. And the day is officially done. I had a nice cup of tea, had a nice dinner, a relaxing night. I also did work on the lesson for next week. So all of that is ready to go. All of my documents are ready to send in the morning, and I'm gonna wind up the night because gotta wake up early and do it all again tomorrow. Tomorrow I do have my classes in the morning, so I have new students to meet. I am also going to have my dean sign the site approval letter. Oh, and I was able to get the correct name lists for the students. So hopefully when I go to class tomorrow, everything should be good. We'll see. I mean, time will tell. But thanks for coming along with me on today's first day of the semester. I feel like it was kind of a weird day. I don't feel like that much happened, but you know, that's probably a good thing. Maybe in the future, I'll make a video about like how to have a really smooth first day, because my goodness, they did not always go that smoothly. And I don't know, I just have a good feeling about this next semester. Like I said, I am entering this new semester really considering my mentality and considering my perspective. I just want to be really intentional with the way I approach things. I feel like, I mean, if you've been around for the last few vlogs, 2024 just felt very reactive. I felt like people were constantly giving me tasks, giving me expectations, and I really want 2025 to be a little bit more of myself, me setting intentions and being really deliberate and being really intentional with what I bring into my world and how I protect my energy and how I refocus my mindset, my perspective for things that I don't really have a control over and the things that I really want to do. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Hopefully I can get a good night's sleep before the classes in the morning, but thanks so much for joining me on the very first day of the spring 2025 semester. Let's see what we get up to throughout this entire semester. Let's see all of the amazing things that are going to happen. I can't wait to see it. And hopefully you are too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.